You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Fox News lists former host dangling over Trump's wrath, based on an article by Nick Helen. Trump's machine breaks, then blames the fact-checker. The story in one sentence. The Justice Department's case over alleged vandalism at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool fell apart after Jeanine Pirro acknowledged that the damage came from contractor error, not the vandalism Trump had been setting, and the fallout exposed a familiar pattern. Trump pushes a false story, loyalists enforce it, and the military apparatus retreats once reality becomes expensive. Horror, not confusion. This was never a dispute between equals, and it was never a mystery waiting to be solved. The people with institutional power were Trump, Pirro, and the federal apparatus they control. Trump set the narrative. Pirro used the machinery of federal prosecution to act on it. When the recorder pointed elsewhere, the case collapsed under the weight of facts the administration had already ignored. That matters. This is not overreach in an abstract. It is deliberate state power applied in service of a story that was politically useful and factually weak. The real decision was a lie. The central decision was made before the charges were dropped to treat Trump's claim as if it were credible enough to prosecute around. The source says Interior Department records repeatedly pointed to installation failures and teeing two-liner weeks before the alleged vandalism. That means the administration was not merely mistaken. It was operating on a version of events after the desired outrage, not the evidence. When Pirro finally backed off, it was not principled correction. It was damage control under pressure from sanctions, investigation, and disbarment risk. That is the anatomy of institutional cowardice. Push the line until the professional consequences become larger than the political benefit. Fox built the stage, then walked away. Fox News helped sell the original claim and then went quiet once the case imploded. That silence is not incidental. It is the role of pro-Trump media in its cleanest form, amplified an accusation when it can be used against the target, then vanish when the accusation collapses under scrutiny. The network's refusal to index the reversal tells you exactly what kind of media ecosystem this is. It is not a truth-seeking institution that occasionally misses. It is an enforcement layer for power, enthusiastic when the lie is useful and evasive when the lie becomes a liability. Pirro is not the exception. The CNN analysis quoted in the source treats Pirro's problem as a personal rupture with Trump, but that is too soft. Her issue is not simply that she displeased him. It is that she became vulnerable the moment the facts stopped matching the performance. Trump's orbit rewards loyalties until loyalty becomes visible failure. Then the blame moves downward. A loyalist prosecutor becomes expendable and never goes mute. The stronger actor keeps the narrative. Everyone else absorbs the fallout. That is not dysfunction. It is how the system preserves itself. What this pattern reveals. The deeper pattern is an authoritarian style of governance built on spectacle, pressure, and selective prosecution. The objective is not accuracy. It is dominance over the story, even when the story is flimsy. Officials are not chosen to exercise judgment. They are chosen to absorb risk while protecting the latest preferred fiction. This is why the collapse of this case matters beyond one reflecting two and one bad prosecution. It shows how state power, media loyalty, and personal vendetta merge into a single political method, make the accusation first force the institution to act, and hope the truth arrives too late to matter. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternate for today's article. With the automated voice of Diana, thanks for listening.